usually don't have any bowel movement, or you have just one that has persisted for a long time, breaking from the normal movement that you have, then you have to ask yourself what might be causing that a change in bowel movement. Another sign, there are 7 signals to cancer in a body. They can all be there, or a few of them can be there. We need to confirm them more by screening tests. So one of them is change in bowel movement. Another one is a sore or a wound that does not heal. Generally, when you have a wound or a sore, the body has natural healing mechanisms. Platelets or those clotting system of the blood is brought about in a wound, and when they are brought about, they create a wire mesh that begins a process for closing that wound. Now, when you have a sore or a wound that takes quite a while to heal, it means there is a problem with those cells. And you have to ask yourself, why is my wound or my sore not healing very well? Another signal is unusual bleeding or discharge from parts of the body. You have just unusual bleeding, either vaginal bleeding or unusual discharge from the penis or something that was not there initially and it has persisted. It's something that you should go and check out. Either you have a lump that is, another sign is a lump that is thickening in the breast or elsewhere. A lump that is thickening the breast or elsewhere was not there initially, should cause you to try to understand what is happening, what has changed. And so you have to know that something is amiss somewhere. Something has not been there, it's there, and it's persisting. A difficulty in swallowing or in digestion is another signal that is common to most cancers. When you have difficulty in swallowing, and you have constant indigestion and stomach problems. Then you have a wart or a mole that changes over a while. It was there, it has been there for some time. Then the wart or the mole in the skin, ni zile nini, wart or mole ni zile either tuseme ni birthmark or something, things of that kind. They have been there, but all of a sudden they are changing. Either they are growing, or they are changing in color, or they are changing in consistency. That should be a worrying sign that something that has changed, so that you need to be proactive enough to go to understand what is happening. When you have a nagging cough or hoarseness, it's something that you should be able to check out. So after that, when things have changed, you should be able to go for early detection, maybe by screening tests. Most of the cancers can be screened early, and at particular age, you should be able to screen for cancers. When you are past 40 years, you should be able to do rectal examinations, so that you screen for colorectal cancer or something. Breast examinations, you know, you're supposed to do them any other day, ladies. How many of us know how to do breast examinations? Yes, that is a skill that is important to you, because you bathe yourself every other day. You should be able to understand when something has changed, and when you feel there is something that is out of place, you should be able to be proactive enough to go and understand what has changed. So self-breast examination is important monthly after you have hit the age of 20. Very important. So because after that age, the hormonal factor that brings about cancer is more pronounced as that age goes by. So you should be able to do self-breast examination every other month after the age of 40, and a breast examination every 3 years. When you're between 20 and 40, you should be able to do a breast examination every 3 years. Then after that, after the age of 40, you should be able to do that every other year. There are many things you can do. There are many things that you can do in examination. So what causes cancer? Or what favors the development of cancer? The first primary defense against cancer is your immune system. Okay? Are we together? Are we together, people? The first primary defense against cancer is your immune system. So as much as possible, you will do well to keep your immune system at an optimal position where the immune system can direct itself against an awkward growth of cells in the body. So it means your immune system should be up here. And so the things that keep the immune system at an optimal condition to function are very important. Basically, two strategies will prevent most cancers from starting. And even when cancer has begun, they may help you gain an upper hand. The first thing that you are supposed to know is that you are supposed to avoid factors that favor cancer development. You're supposed to avoid cancers that favor cancer development. What are these factors? What are these factors? One, smoking affects most of the cancer, is implicated in most of the cancers, either as a first smoker or as a secondary smoker. It can lead to development of cancer because we know cigarette has about 400 carcinogenic chemicals in them. This can be taken in the body. Either you are a smoker directly or you live with a smoker. This you need to know. Alcoholism, because alcohol passes through every other system, alcohol can destroy the DNA and cause the cells to become cancerous. We know of nyama choma. Why does nyama choma becomes a problem in cancer? It's because when you are chomaring the nyama in heat, the chemicals in the meat becomes carcinogenic. One of the chemicals that is produced when saturated fats in the meat are grilled is the cyclic benzene compound, hydrocarbons, and that is carcinogenic. It is very destructive to the body and it causes cancer. After knowing the factors that favor cancer and avoiding them, you should take advantage of the factors that help the body to remove cancer from the system. So know the things that may cause cancer and know the things that you can use to remove cancer from the body. So tobacco, I've spoken about tobacco as a culprit. 4,000 chemicals in just one stick, and most of them are carcinogenic. So tobacco is very lethal. It's linked to cancer of the lungs, lips, mouth, cancer of the throat, cancer of the esophagus, cancer of the stomach, kidney, cervix, leukemia. Most of the cancers, penis cancer, cancers of the pancreas, cancer of the bladder. Whenever those chemicals come into contact in the body, cancers may be produced. So that even when you're not smoking and you're around people who are smoking very much, you ought to know that those chemicals are very potent and very carcinogenic. Alcohol consumption increases cancer risk very drastically. The risk of breast cancer increases when you drink alcohol. Those women who consume alcohol and those who don't consume, those who consume alcohol have higher risk of developing cancer. The rate of those who die from cancer increases when you are drinking. When you're drinking, the lethal nature of cancer becomes very important. So, what about coffee? What about coffee and caffeine? Caffeine is known as a co-carcinogen. Co-carcinogen, it means it works with all the other carcinogens to accelerate DNA damage. That is why as a Christian who understands, you understand that caffeine inflicts or causes pain in the body by destroying your DNA, and it also does what? It causes some blood pressure because it works on the heart. It stimulates the adrenal gland, which stimulates the heart. So over time, when you use caffeine or you use coffee, your heart, your blood pressure tends to rise because of that. Increased fat consumption. Increased fat consumption can also cause cancer to grow well in the body. Those who eat of that are excessive in fats, especially the bad fat, the trans fats in margarine, and the saturated fats mostly found in animal-based food can accelerate the development of cancer. So those are just some of the factors that that can increase cancer. A diet low in fat will reduce skin cancers. A diet low in fat will reduce prostate cancers. So fat consumption is a critical. Where do we find most fats from? Common sources of saturated fat. I've mentioned animal-based products. Where can we get more fats? Saturated fats are also found in milk. Saturated fats, you'll find them in ice cream, because ice cream is still milk. How does that happen? When we make ice cream, what do we do? Who has ever made ice cream? Or something? What do you do? The milk is blended. Sometimes the milk is blended majorly to break it down. And that causes hydrogenation sometimes, which causes those fats to be easily accessible to the body. Yogurt, the same thing, saturated fats. There are cheese. If you consume cheese either in pizzas or any other place, you introduce saturated fats into the body. Meat increases risk of lymph cancers. Meat increases risk of colon cancers because the colon essentially needs to be evacuated and to be cleaned. You need to eat foods that are high in fiber to help clean the colon. When you eat more of an animal-based diet which do not have fiber, the colon becomes dirty over a period of time because there is nothing to evacuate it. That can change the natural state of the colon and cause diseases. So meat increases the risk of colon cancer. When you eat less meat, say you eat less than once per month, the cancer risk is basically low. But when you start eating meat once per month to once per week, once per month, once per week, the risk increases by 39%, the risk of colon cancer, that is. When you eat meat twice to 4 times per week, the risk increases by 50%. When you eat meat 5 to 6 times per week, the risk increases by about 84%. When you eat meat daily or more, the risk is about 100% or over 100% of having cancer, meaning the risk increases as you consume meat every other time, because you had that meat in the system without it being evacuated very well. It means it stays in the system very long, and it may cause colon cancer. Charcoal broiled meat, yenye tumesema nyama choma, it produces benzopyrene in the charcoal grilled products. All charcoal grilled products, by the way, when they have saturated fats, benzopyrene is a very lethal carcinogen. So that you need to avoid it. Too much iron in meat. Meat has iron, a good amount of it. Meat is a good source of iron, but that iron is not easily picked up in the body. And that iron, when it's in the body, it causes a lot of problem. It favors the formation of hydroxyl radicals, which have the potential to damage DNA. That is the iron. Meat is very high in iron. So the hydroxyl radicals in the meat can potentially damage the DNA. This iron can also suppress the activity of your defense cells, because the cells work in a balance of iron. Then the excess iron in meat can also promote cancer cell multiplication. So Meat also increases breast cancer risk. When you eat more meat, your breasts, you have a more risk of developing breast cancer. Toxins in meat, toxins in what also increases cancer. Toxins in plants and what increases cancer. Okay. So meat eating is known in most of the cancers that we know. Most of the cancers that we know. Poultry products, when the higher you consume them, the higher your risk develops for most of those cancers, especially in ladies. The breast cancer, the cervical cancer, all the cancers that are hormonally mediated develop very well with a consumption or a diet that is majorly made of animal products. Cholesterol in animal products is also linked to cancer. High intake of cholesterol is found in eggs, in meat, in dairy products, and they accelerate the development of cancer in the system. Dairy products also causes cancer. Caffeine, I have spoken about as a co-carcinogen, means it worked with all the other carcinogens. Carcinogens are substances that causes cancer. So caffeine in coffee works with the other carcinogens to increase cancer in the body. So the cancer-causing agents that I've mentioned so far is tobacco, alcohol, excess fats, meat because they have saturated fats, they have excess iron, toxins like benzopyrene that comes from cooking, especially nyama choma, toxins that are used to spray the plants, eggs, milk, and cheese because they have saturated fats, and toxins also, viruses, coffee because of caffeine. Excess sun exposure can also lead to cancer, especially when you are in a high-fat diet and you are exposing yourself to the cancer, to the sun rather. The sun can work on the cholesterol under the skin, changing it to cause skin cancer. So when you have a wrong diet of saturated fat and you are exposed more to the sun can work on the cholesterol under the skin from the excess diet to cause cancer. Asbestos, which were used to build roofs sometimes back, nowadays they are no longer used. At least they have been declared to be cancer-causing, can cause cancer. Excess sugar in the diet can cause cancer. What you use as your self-care products, especially the deodorants and the powders that you use in the private parts of the body, can cause cancer, especially those that have what? What do most of those deodorants and oils have that can cause cancer? That can cause enlargement of the. Some of them are enhanced by hormones. Sindio? Some of the deodorants and mafutas that we use are enhanced by hormones. That is why you find out when you use some oils or some mafutas, even as a man, your breast increases. Because some of them wameongeza hormones. They have those hormones that you must be aware of that can cause cancer. So any question up to that point? Any question up to that point? Yes, we go ahead. Now, after knowing the agents, how can you reduce or prevent cancer? One is to reduce all the risks that are involved in cancer, so that you need to know when you put food before you, you need to know that it can mediate this and this and this. It can destroy the body in this way to bring cancer. I believe I have touched on that a bit. You should be able to eat foods that increase or gives the immune system a higher standing, especially gives the immune system optimal working conditions. So you should be able to eat vitamin I foods. Vitamins are especially antioxidants. They remove the radicals, the free radicals that have been produced in the body that mediate most of these diseases. So vitamin A vitamin C, vitamin E are found in plant-based diets, especially when you eat them raw. They will be high in those vitamins that increases or improves the immune system. So plants are the best source of antioxidants that are very important in protecting the body and improving the immune system of the body, to be able to fight off cancer or to be able to remove the free radicals that destroy the cells and causes inflammation that leads to disease. Vitamin C is very important. Vitamin C sources, you need to know foods that gives you vitamin C. Orange juice is a good source of vitamin C. Bell peppers, in salad, sweet bell peppers, the red, the yellow bell peppers are very high in vitamin C. Orange itself is a very good source of vitamin C. Bananas, baked potato, cabbage when it's raw is a good source of vitamin C. Sukuma wiki is a good source of vitamin C when it's just boiled. Sweet potato baked is a good source of vitamin C. Broccoli, sweet green bell peppers, they are foods that are high in vitamin C. Foods that are very high in vitamin A, we have carrots. When it's cooked, is very high in vitamin C. When it's raw, it's very vitamin A rather. When it's cooked, it's very high in vitamin A. When it's raw, very high in vitamin C. Broccoli, lettuce, bell peppers, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, when it's cooked, is very high in vitamin A. These are foods that should be forming part of your diet to keep your immune system at an advantage to fight disease. So the main idea I'm giving you about cancer is to improve your immune system, basically, to improve your immune system, which is important. Foods that build the immune system are very important to you, especially the plant-based foods. Vitamin E is found in almonds, in soybeans, in olive oil, in spinach, in wheat germ, good sources of vitamin E, which is a very powerful antioxidant. Antioxidant simply means they fight the free radicals that are produced in the body. So which are the top 10 fruits and vegetables high in antioxidants? Which fruits and which vegetables should you be able to see more in your diet to increase the power of the working of your immune system? The top 10 fruits high in antioxidant, number 10 is tomatoes. Nyanya too is a high antioxidant fruit. Apples are high antioxidant fruits at number 9. Bananas are high antioxidant fruits at number 8. White grapes are high antioxidant fruits. Grapefruit, who knows what a grapefruit is? Grapefruit, anyone? Who knows what orange is? Machungwa. Okay, tunajua machungwa, si ndio? Kama tunajua machungwa, kuna ile machungwa inakuanga kubwa kabisa this size. Umeiona? Kitu inakaa machungwa iko this size. Sometimes it's very pink inside or something. Have you ever interacted with that fruit? Yes, ukienda sokoni, I believe ulize grapefruit utapewa. Iko tu hapa Kenya, sio mahali, sio vitu zenye ziko mbali na sisi. Ukienda hii soko ya Thika sijaenda, but I believe ukienda supermarket utaipata. Ukienda Ngara utaipata. Ukienda Marikiti Nairobi utaipata. Ukienda City Walk Market huko utaipata. So grapefruit are very high. The pink grapefruit are very high in antioxidant. Red grapes are very high in antioxidant. Then oranges at number 3. Machungwa too, very high in antioxidant. Then we have plums. Plums, usually we eat them in our country around at what time do they bloom? Plums inapatikana kwa soko what time of the year? November, December hivi. Plums zinaiva vizuri hapa Kimende sana. Zinakujanga town and everywhere else. There are fruits that are very rich in antioxidant. The best fruit in antioxidant are strawberries. How many of us eat strawberries? Yes, you should interact with them. What about vegetables? The top 10 vegetables high in antioxidant, number 10 is corn. Mahindi. Especially the corn that is not dried. ile yenye ni mbichi that you can use in your salads or that you can cook just kidogo too, and it becomes nice. Onion is a vegetable that is rich in antioxidant. Nyanya tu, kitunguu rather. Red bell peppers at number 8, beets at number 7, broccoli at number 6. Very, very rich. How many of us eat broccoli? How many know broccoli? How many eat broccoli again? Okay, you should be able to incorporate it more in your meals. Alpha, not alpha, sijaita alpha, sindio? Acheni kuchokoza alpha. Alfalfa sprouts. Alfalfa, how many know alfalfa? Majorly we use it in animals. Alfalfa is grown as a protein source to animals, especially wale dairy animals. Utapata wakulima wamemea kitu inaita alfalfa. The sprouts are very rich in antioxidant, and you can use them in your salads, by the way. You can use them in your salad. Brussels sprouts. Anyone who knows Brussels sprouts? Yes, I see one person. Brussels sprouts, very rich in antioxidants. Spinach. How many of us hate spinach? How many of us hate spinach? Yes, people hate spinach. It has that jivu taste, sindio? But you can work with that. It's not entirely bad. Spinach is very high in antioxidant. Kale, number 2, hata imeshinda spinach. Hii sukuma wiki watu tunaogopa na tunachezea. Very high antioxidant vegetable rather. Sukuma wiki. Kuna different kinds of sukuma wiki, si ndio? Kuna ile matumbo, inakaa matumbo. Kuna ile normal sukuma wiki. Just boil it a bit. Very high. Watu wanasema hiyo ni sio matumbo. Nimesema kuna ile sukuma wiki inaitwa matumbo, si ndio? Inakaa very rough on the edges, yeah? Yes, that is good sukuma. Garlic is the top antioxidant vegetable. Garlic, kitunguu saumu, very lethal antioxidant vegetable. So all plant foods alone are powerful antioxidants. Whole plant foods means foods in their natural state, how they come from the shamba. When you cook them simply in that state, they are very rich in antioxidants. They have been shown to improve your immune system. Phytochemicals, where do you find phytochemicals? Phytochemicals are found entirely in plant foods. Okay, and phytochemicals are those chemicals that gives the plant the healing component. So if you eat foods that are very high in phytochemicals, these foods have been shown to improve the immune system and give it power to fight disease. For example, broccoli is high in sulforaphane. Sulforaphane in broccoli is a component that fights cancer. Resveratrol I mentioned in what? In nuts, especially peanuts, is very good for you. It's also found in red grapes. Limonene found in citrus fruits like orange, like candimu and everything. Those are phytochemicals in food that helps you to fight disease. Soybeans and legumes are very high in isoflavones and saponins. Don't be threatened by the names, yeah? I'm just mentioning them, that you understand those are the components that gives food power to fight cancer. Ellagic acid in grapes is known to fight cancer. Caffeic acid, caffeine, caffeic acids in fruits is a phytochemical that has been shown to fight cancer and many other diseases. In grains, we speak more of phytic acid. Phytic acids in grains, all grains, are very high phytochemicals that help the body to fight disease. Now, fiber in food is very important, especially when you speak about colorectal cancer. Majorly comes from fiberless diets. I mentioned meat being a fiberless diet. All plant-based, all animal-based products are less in fiber. And so they dirtify the colon, they change the natural state of the bacteria in the colon, and you develop disease. Dietary fiber protect the colon and the body from cancer. So we spoke about weight and cancer. If you reduce your weight, you reduce your risk of cancer. Maintaining a proper weight is very important for cancer. Mostly when you speak about viruses, we majorly get viruses from animal-based products. Animal-based products easily contaminated. When you put meat here for a day and you put vegetable here for a day, which one will smell first? Yes? The meat will be destroyed very fast, and when it's destroyed, it means that it has been attacked by bacteria, by viruses, and every other thing, so that it deteriorates very fast, attracting those things. We grow viruses and we grow bacteria in meat mediums and in blood mediums, so that you ought to understand